I spoke about today was the emotional impact of getting a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. I spoke a little bit, first of all, about what it's like living at risk, and in particular, from a psychologist's perspective, the fact that when you're living at risk or you know someone in your family who's at risk, you often worry about them. The more you worry, the more you tend to focus on the negative things, like perhaps their memory is going a little bit, and the more you focus on those things, the more you start to believe that those things are true, and when you believe they're true, you worry even more. So one thing that we know lots of people who live at risk do, or who live with people who are at risk, is get into that cycle of worry, focus on the negative, believe bad things are happening, worry even more. So I talked a little bit about that cycle and some kind of natural ways you can help yourself get out of that cycle. So try and catch yourself thinking in those ways, try and tell yourself the true fact that everybody forgets things sometimes, everybody has days when they're tired or they're not concentrating, and try and also relax yourself and do nice things that you enjoy to try and lift your mood a little bit. And then I spoke a bit about actually the process of having a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease. So when you or someone close to you might be actually starting to show signs. And really what I wanted to highlight was it's a long process. So because it's a disease that changes how you do over time, it's not something you can diagnose at one point, just quickly with a quick test. You need to look at least 2 different times and see what's happened at this time that's different from what happened before. And it's quite tough for people going through that process to have that waiting point. But we need to have a bit of a gap so that we, as the medical professionals, can be really sure when we tell you we think something's going on. So it's finding that balance between not making you wait too long, but having long enough of a wait that we feel more certain in the information that we're telling you. So I pointed out some things to think about when you're going through this process, like think about who you'd like to be there with you when you get given the diagnosis. Think about what questions you'd like to ask the doctor at that point, and maybe write them down and take them in with you so that you've kind of got it all there in front of you. So most importantly is to know that there's lots of sources of support for you and your family when you're going through this diagnostic process. Some of them are the peer support group that's kind of linked in with this website, and people get a lot of support from other people in the same situation and sharing their stories and sharing advice. But also your NHS team should be able to give you support. There's professional counselling that GPs and other medical professionals can refer you to if the emotional side of things is really weighing you down. And there's lots of other online resources, for example, the Alzheimer's Society, but other things out there as well. So just to be really, really aware that once the diagnostic process is going on, you're not left on your own, and there's lots of places to go and look to help you through that process. I think that's a really important take-home message.